Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Vinitaly International Academy, announcing the 24th of our Italian Wine Ambassador courses to be held in London, Austria, and Hong Kong from the 27th to the 29th of July. Are you up for the challenge of this demanding course? Do you want to be the next Italian Wine Ambassador? Learn more and apply now at vinitalyinternational.com.
Welcome to this two-part episode of On the Road Edition, hosted by Stevie Kim. Today, she is at Castello di Volpaia, in the heart of Tuscany. Stevie Kim sits down with Giovanna Stianti Mascheroni and her daughter Federica Mascheroni Stianti to talk about their epic estate, their amazing labels, and of course the history of this iconic family. And remember, if you would like to watch some footage of the castle and the interview, just head to our sister channel on YouTube, Mama Jumbo Shrimp.
All right, so let's taste one wine. What are we tasting?
Why don't we taste the Coltasala?
Why don't we? Since it's the only one open.
Yes, don't say it. I have all the line up over there.
Okay, let's taste this one wine.
The Coltasala. This is the 2018. And from the 2015 vintage, it is a Gran Selezione.
Oh, okay, it's Gran Selezione.
Yes.
All right. So tell me, how would you give me the tasting notes?
Who's going to do this? She's going to.
I notice when she doesn't want to speak, she's like, you do it.
Yeah, exactly. Look at her. Yes. Well, I'm the mother, let's say.
I'm not really a person that has a lot of words, so I'm not really able now.
I had noticed. Are you kidding me?
I'm trying to escape since the beginning to talk. But for sure...
No, you don't have to give me like, I'm not asking for, James Suckling.
Luckily, because I was already red in the color of my cheeks. For sure, you have... If in the Chianti Classico you have a cherry, in the Coltasala I found much more amarena. How do you say?
Amarena.
Amarena. Yes. Change the accent.
I think it's Amarena.
Yeah.
So the darker cherry, the one that is rounder, and
less acid than the cherries, softer,
and then the blackberry. And then you have the structure is a wine that is aged also in barrique. So the structure is also coming from the wood. But what we try is like not to impress it too much with the wood. So only 1/3 is the new barrique.
Oh, okay. And how many is in barrique?
How many months?
Yeah, how many months?
It's roughly, depends about the vintage, between 18 and 24. And anyhow, to become a Gran Selezione, you need a minimum of 6 months after in the bottle.
Right. So bottle aging.
Yes, that is very important. Sometimes a lot of people doesn't really take care about this point, but it's incredibly important, the aging in the bottle. And for me, the best bottle is the Magnum. It's the perfect dimension of the bottle and the cork on top.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Try to have aged Magnum and the same vintage as a normal 750, and it's different. You can feel.
So it. We were walking around the Borgo, okay, Hamlet, as we found out today, and it is incredibly, for me, amazing how you were able to create a bona fide winemaking facilities. Okay, so we spoke about, the winemaking facilities, but inside of these small buildings, right? Mm-hmm. And how it's integrated. So tell us a little bit about the Borgo and your day-to-day life with the workers here.
Well, when there is something that started many years ago, she looks at me. Anyhow, yes. Really, is the soul of everything was my husband. I always say that my husband didn't marry me. he wanted Volpaia, and the only way to have Volpaia was to marry me. So I was part of a package.
Okay.
He really felt in love with this place where we were coming just as engaged. And then he started working, and he was going very well with my father. So at the beginning, he had no money. So my father helped, but he had the idea, and my father was financing the idea. So it was a good team. And they started that one thing at a time. No, we didn't do everything at the same time. And also, we never knew that we would be what we are, because I'm sure that otherwise we would not do it, because it's so fascinating. And as long as we don't make money, at least we live in a nice place. We enjoy what we do every day, and that is the best reward that we can have.
But because I think your family was one of the very first utilizing the cold fermentation, controlled fermentation
Absolutely.
vessels, right?
Yes. That was really something that we changed it 5 times the way we ferment the wine. But every time was something new. We realized that the wine could, we start doing the stainless steel. So with stainless steel, you cannot leave it open because you start the fermentation when it's very warm. So it's like making a soup and have the heater at the maximum. So it boil, and all the perfume will leave. So we immediately understood that in wood it would be different because there's much more insulation around. But with stainless steel, it was very important to control the temperature. And we had this project that this person just made for us because there was not so much people doing this way. Now everybody are more or less abandoning this way, and they're coming back to cement that we already tried. Now there is many different ways of fermenting, and that's dependent from your own taste. For example, now they ferment also in clay. I tasted the wine. It's my personal taste. I don't like. It's not bad.
Right.
I don't like.
Yeah, you don't have like the eggs, the fashionable.
Exactly.
Everyone has like some eggs now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So let's talk about, if you want, a little bit about your other estates and the type of wines you make. You guys are looking at each other like, you take it. No, you talk about it. No, you talk about it.
No, that's not my estate. My father gave me this, and her father gave the other wine estate to her. So everything is repeated in the years, and so that is the present that my husband gave to Federica.
So the one in Maremma. And what about Pantelleria?
That one is my brother. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's not here.
Yes, we miss the singer of the family. No, that is a project of my brother. I think it is a problem of my family. We are not able to have a house without a vineyard.
Oh, okay. So if you need a house, you buy a vineyard with it.
Exactly.
I think this is the main issue of the family.
Good thing you only had 2 children, because otherwise you would have 10 estates.
Absolutely.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about Maremma. What kind of wines do you produce?
It's very different. It's only 2 hours by car, but it's a totally different microclimate there. It's in Castiglione della Pescaia in Maremma, Toscana. So it's like 1 hour driving souther than Bolgheri. Where we are located, it's near the seaside. So Maremma is quite a wide area. It goes even very much inland also. And so being so close to the sea, we don't grow very much Sangiovese. Actually, now we are in the process of replanting most of the vineyards. What we are very happy and what we see is growing very well is the Vermentino.
Yeah, of course.
They're, following the steps of what Liguria or Sardinia has already done, Maremma is now focusing very much in the Vermentino, in aged Vermentino, so even in Riserva. So that it's, and then obviously we have the grapes, the red grapes on the Cabernet side.
So when was the first vintage?
2007.
Okay, so
but the Vermentino arrived a little bit later because it was not planted, and we planted there.
And what about Pantelleria, even if Nicolo's in here?
The first vintage is 2011. Yes.
So you have, and do you do any sparklers?
Yes.
You do it, right?
No, that is the passion of my brother.
Oh, okay. He does it. Where is he doing that?
Part is done here. So we have a 100% of Sangiovese from Volpaia, from a single vineyard in
And it's metodo classico. Right?
Esatto, and millesimato.
Okay.
And we are doing since the 2010 vintage.
And it's a small production, right? So it's like in Italian you say sfizio. I love that word.
Yes,
You know?
yes,
Yeah.
it's very sfizio. Yes,
Okay.
and then more or less in the same moment, he has a house.
In Pantelleria.
No, but another one in Oltrepò Pavese.
Oh.
So pay attention. He's trying to buy something there. I am forcing here. Don't do it. But, and so he joined the south and north of Italy. So the Pinot Noir from Oltrepò and the as a licor d'espedizione, the Passito di Pantelleria. And so this wine is made up in the north, in Oltrepò Pavese. It's nothing about our own grapes, but there is this project too, and it's a sparkling, it's a spumante.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
we spoke mostly about winemaking. I briefly touched on the vineyard management, right? Can you give me like the 5 things that we need to know about the different types of microclimate, the soil structure and altitude, the exposure to sun, the wind, closeness to the sea? Yeah, about this because it's very elevated, right? Where does it start?
Are you enjoying this podcast? Don't forget to visit our YouTube channel, Mama Jumbo Shrimp, for fascinating videos covering Stevie Kim and her travels across Italy and beyond, meeting winemakers, eating local foods, and taking in the scenery.
We start, the lowest vineyard is the one of the Castellino. It's around 350 meters. And it is the one that now we are making the sparkling wine from there, because it was the low one that for most of the other people is the high one. Then more or less...
What is the altitude?
350 there.
350,
Yeah.
okay.
Then from there we go up. The new vineyard that we have over Volpaia is reaches 650 meters, so very high elevated for the area. So for sure we have elevation. That is quite a characteristic. Then our exposure, we look south. Southern exposure obviously is nothing flat. So you have southeast, southwest, and then in different slopes.
Are you able to do mechanical harvesting here? Or no, everything is hand harvested?
Yes, everything is hand picking and work. It's a lot of work.
Yes.
And people that come for the harvest the second day, not always they come back because it's very much work and going up and down, very stony. So another characteristic of Volpaia, a lot of stones in the vineyard and sand.
Yeah, we saw that. It's very rocky.
Yeah, so this it's really a huge difference after in the wine. So minerality, microclimate, because of the elevation, we have the valley below. So even at the end of the season, like in September, more in October, sometimes we see the vineyards in the bottom of the valley that could have lost already all the leaves and still have some bunch of grape that has to be picked. But upper, we don't have a lot of fogs or things like this, and so we still have all our leaves on the plants, and so they keep working to ripe the grape. For sure, the microclimate of Volpaia is quite different, and so at the same time, a lot of wind. That is good.
It's always windy here, right?
Yes, it's good. I mean, in the summer now, with the change of the climate, for sure, we are reaching really high temperature anyhow. So now, but before we have never needed a air condition in the rooms. Now we start to have this necessary.
What is the diurnal temperature range? Like the difference between the high temperature and low temperature here?
It could be really hot because, like in the summer, you could be without in t-shirt, even less. But in the afternoon, you need a sweater.
Right. So it's cool in.
We San Lorenzo, cos'è il
saint protecting the village.
Oh, okay. That's I'm agnostic, so whatever.
But it's August 10, and so it's in the middle of August, so it should be a very hot day. We were doing a big party every year in the past, and everybody was coming here dressed in a way at the beginning of the day, of the evening, and at the end everybody was wearing its jacket or its sweater, even if it was August.
But the climate change we helped us very, very much. So we are very high elevation. So previously we didn't reach the temperature we needed
For the enough sugar.
Exactly. So now the problem, if you remember that the appellation tells that Reserva should reach at least a 12-degree alcohol. Now they should say they cannot go over.
Right.
Because the climate and really the people who were very lucky in the 60s or the 70s, today they suffer. I always say, and it's true, I met this friend of mine a few days ago, and he just confirmed, I don't tell you the name because he's a good producer, but in 2003, he asked me in a party, did you make wine this year? Yes, of course I did. Why? No, I made marmalade because there was no juice in the grapes because it's very low located. And
But are you picking earlier now?
Yes.
You are, right? And what about frost? Is that a problem in this area?
Usually in this area could be for lower altitude, but like the last frost in April that this area had, we were not really impacted. I mean, we had like a 2% of the production, even less, but other people got really big damage.
You know, so the elevation, just getting back to that 1 nanosecond, the difference in elevation, and it's predominantly Sangiovese, right? Is that correct? So do you have different clones according to different elevation?
No, not about a different elevation, but I was talking today with the winemaker and...
Who's the winemaker, by the way?
The local one, the one that has to live with the grapes every day, is Lorenzo Regoli. Then we have in the cellar, Roberto doesn't come to me the surname in this moment. Pannocchia. No, Roberto Pannocchia, sorry, I was not a... Then we have a consultor that is Riccardo Cotarella.
The super enologist, yeah.
But it's nice also to have somebody that works for different wineries and can bring you problems, solving problems, usually, that had somebody else. And then obviously it's very important also the people that are working in the vineyards. So Simone Vignali, that is another important person for us, because and has to be an energy between the three of them that has to be connected.
So there is something, a new kind of association of Rada.
Yes.
Yeah. What is? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We are now the Vignaioli di Radda. So, and what is nice is a big connection between all of us.
How many producers are there?
We are over 20 now, and the biggest important things, we eat a lot together and we drink a lot of together.
It seems like an excellent reason to have an association.
Yeah, and different wines. Yes, and different wines from the different areas of Radda. So a lot of exchanges. So next week we have a nice tasting between all of us. Everybody brings his own wine, so we can be able to see what we are doing. But it's also an important exchange about what are you doing, what is also even where are you buying the bottles, because I have problems with my producer, and exchange technical notes, practical notes, and then work together. Try to be much more, sometimes the French are better, so try to be much more like French and work together. As an association, you can make much more impact than work as a...
Maybe because it's a small group, you can work together.
Yeah, could be.
Italians are notorious.
No,
Individualists.
No, they don't share.
So individualistic. Yeah. Listen, so my last question before we close, what are the food and wine recommendations for what are the food recommendations for your wines?
Is a Chianti Classico, is a Sangiovese. So for sure, sit at the table and eat and drink at the same time. Don't think about it. For my point of view, I think about a Sangiovese, drink it by yourself. I think it's much more pleasure if you have some food with. I'm sorry to be rude with the vegan or vegetarian, but the meat is the best pairing for these type of wines.
So of course it's typical, right? Chianti Classico with Fiorentina steak. Yeah. But what about international foods? Like, I don't know, tacos, hamburger. Well, hamburger is very similar, but so that seems to be like a logical choice. But what are some other food items? You travel, you hate Korean food, so definitely no Korean food. Okay, but what about some other types of international dishes?
I tell often this story because I remained very shocked. It was one of my first trip. I was in Hong Kong and was not really able to choose the food. And I was with the journalist and he chose for me the food. And arrived in the front of me this wonderful white fish. Was looking like boiled white fish.
Boiled white fish, yeah.
And I said,
how can you drink it with Chianti?
And actually was with a very fat sauce that you were not seeing at the beginning. So the sweetness of and the fatness of that one was pairing incredibly well with the structure of the wine. And I was so incredibly surprised and thanking the person. So it's difficult for me to say what is the food. For example, Thai food with the spiciness is wonderful. No, it's wonderful. It's low down. It's fantastic.
So you would recommend with spicy food?
Yes.
It doesn't cover up the...
It's low down the spice. Obviously, the spice is always for me is always too high. Yeah. But the red wine when you have a food too spicy, usually is bring a piece of a bread, and then drink a glass of wine, and you will have your mouth that finally breathe again.
Right. So it's making me really hungry, so I think we should stop. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's do a chin chin. Thank you. Chin chin. And thank you so much for the invitation.
No, thank you very much for coming.
Okay. And it's a wrap from Rada.
Sì.
In Chianti.
Esatto.
Okay.
Ciao.
Ciao ragazzi.
Ciao, grazie mille.
Ciao.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Italian Wine Podcast, brought to you by Vinitaly Academy, home of the gold standard of Italian wine education. Do you want to be the next ambassador? Apply online at vinitalyinternational.com for courses in London, Austria, and Hong Kong, the 27th to the 29th of July. Remember to subscribe and like Italian Wine Podcast, and catch us on SoundCloud, Spotify, and wherever you get your pods. You can also find our entire back catalog of episodes at italianwinepodcast.com.
Hi guys, I'm Joy Livingston and I am the producer of the Italian Wine Podcast. Thank you for listening. We are the only wine podcast that has been doing a daily show since the pandemic began. This is a labor of love and we are committed to bringing you free content every day. Of course, this takes time and effort, not to mention the cost of equipment, production, and editing. We would be grateful for your donations, suggestions, requests, and ideas. For more information on how to get in touch, go to italianwinepodcast.com.